Hello everyone, this is Ryan Ricks, Security Officer with XLEMR, and today we're going to interview Tripp Weeks, President of XLEMR. So Tripp, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started with XLEMR?
Gladly, Ryan. Started out basically doing some programming development years ago under Unix for convenience stores, and from there went into the financial industry, did some Windows programming, and then from there went to the Weather Channel as Senior Program Manager and worked with large-scale business systems. I got my MBA there, and then when 9/11 happened, I was let go from the Weather Channel and started several companies that dealt with the medical industry. And through those companies, I met some folks who were looking for a very low-cost electronic medical record, because at the time, EMRs were $100,000, and they just were beyond the scope of what most physicians could afford to purchase. So I took it upon myself to take a look at how it was possible to develop an electronic medical record, which was absolutely the lowest cost possible to purchase and operate, the simplest and the easiest one to change, and one that pretty much everyone could operate without fear of their vendor going out of business. So I looked at the software market, and the single most prolific piece of software on the planet is Microsoft Office. Most people use it even today anyway. So I went about hiring some really talented people to help me weave together all of the components of a Microsoft Office to form a truly functional electronic medical record. So we use Outlook for our contact management, our calendaring. We use Word for our documentation. We use Excel for our forms and Access for our reporting. And then we distribute that across the standard common off-the-shelf computers. And what you end up with is a very, very low-cost EMR that's very, very easy to maintain. And people like it because they can just use it instantly. There's almost no training involved. And that's pretty much the essence of XLEMR.
So we've also here at XLEMR developed some other exciting products, one of which is called SOX Robot. Can you tell us a little bit about the SOX Robot?
Absolutely. As a small business owner, your focus primarily is on running your business and satisfying your customers and developing your business. But you also find out pretty quickly that you've got to manage your finances and deal with the accounting aspects of your business. Well, I personally just don't like doing that, and as a result, I don't do a very good job of it, and I found myself dealing with QuickBooks in situations where I'd spend weekends looking for very small balancing errors. So I decided that, it would be a perfect world if people could just run their business, purchase things, pay people, do all the financial aspects of their business as if they're going to have to do it anyway, but not cause it to require a lot of your time or deal with a lot of the issues that come up with balancing problems. So I thought about forensic accounting. And forensic accounting is a neat thing because it doesn't trust any one person. It only trusts the financial institutions. So we developed some software that does a remarkable thing. It goes online and pretends to be you. It downloads your financial information, your activity data, and your statements. It saves all of this information in a very well-organized file system, so your accountants and any auditors would be able to find all the source data. It then maps that information into Excel so we can deal with it in a very easy way. It then looks at those transactions for anything that's weird, something that's unusual, and it'll send you email with those kinds of unusual activities so that you can identify what is really legitimate and what is not legitimate. The next thing it does is that you improve that mapping file, send it back to the robot, and the robot posts all of those transactions for you directly into QuickBooks. So what happens is you eliminate the human error component, which is a very common source for most of the problems in almost all accounting systems. Well, we've extended the robot to include timesheet integration, as well as point-of-sale integration and billing system integration for medical offices. So now, for the first time, physicians have a QuickBooks company file that parallels their practice management financial package, and they can compare one against the other. So physicians now, for the very first time, will be able to look and say, did the billing company actually bill for all of my transactions? Did they actually bill according to the fee schedules they should have? Did they collect all of the money from the insurance companies they should have? And did all of that money make it into my bank account? And they can do all of that seamlessly. Add to that the financial reports and detail provided by QuickBooks standard package, and you end up with an extremely powerful financial analysis tool that requires almost no human effort to maintain or improve or operate. And then at the end of the year, of course, your QuickBooks company file can be easily exported into TurboTax or other tax-related software. So we haven't automated the process of doing your taxes yet, but we can certainly improve the validity and accuracy of your numbers that are fed to your accountant for tax purposes.
All right. One thing we've seen a lot in the news lately is personal health records and how they can help save lives during emergency situations and reduce the cost of health care. Does XLEMR have anything to address the personal health record market?
Absolutely. If you really think about health record management, it starts with the person, not the physician. The person needs to be able to keep track of their own medical history, their own medical problems, all of the contacts they have with regard to their medical world, including payment options. So what we developed is very, very neat. We took a USB drive, something very common, very standard, and we found one that is in the format of a credit card. This is nice because it fits in your wallet. It's waterproof, and it functions no matter which way you plug it in. Unlike other USB drives, you have to plug them in a certain way. This one you can plug in either way. It looks like a driver's license on one side, and it has emergency contact information and pertinent medical information on the back. So a first responder can have immediate access to the medical information. You can plug this USB drive into any computer in the world, and you will be able to see the contents of the card. The card has a private area and a public area. The public area would contain, contact information, emergency information, and that such, as well as a common list of things a first responder would want to know. The private area can contain any kind of content you want. Images such as medical x-rays. It could contain sound recordings, even music or personal information. The nice part about it is you don't have to push any of this information on the internet. If you were using something like Google Health, then you are basically broadcasting to the world your personal health information. Now, sure, Google's going to do everything they can to convince you everything's secure, but the reality is you don't know where your data is, you don't know who has access to it, and you don't know how many copies of it there are in the world. So don't ever push your personal health information onto the internet. Just don't do it. Carry it around in your back pocket with your credit card so that whenever you need it, it's always available. And you have control over who gets access to it and how much of your personal health information is provided to your health provider.
All right, that sounds like a pretty fun product. I guess the last question, if anyone's interested in more information about XLEMR or our products, what should they do?
The best thing to do is go to our website. It's www.xlemr.com. On the website, you'll find the products tab, which describes in detail all the products that we have available, and we're constantly developing new ones. You can also contact us. We are constantly looking for good talent to help us with our product development, sales, marketing, and what we call customizers, which are people who help our customers customize our product to their needs. The nice thing about that is all of our products change every day. We improve each product for each customer every day, so there's no waiting on release times, and that's kind of a neat thing for all of our products, and it keeps everything fresh and everybody very, very happy.
All right, well, we look forward to hearing from you out there in cyberspace, and be sure to check the website regularly for our blogs and for our new podcast. Thank you very much, everyone, and have a great weekend.